happy Valentine's Day and welcome to the Roar Rundown Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Gay, joined by my co-host, Weston Bailey. So before we get into the latest in Ouachita athletics, Weston, so just one thing that it came to on my mind while I was doing our research, but in the spirit of Valentine's Day, what is your favorite rom-com?
Oh, gosh. That's a really tough question. You're kind of putting me on the spot here.
Okay, it doesn't have to be rom-com. It could be anything that is romantic or...
Like any show, movie, like...
Yeah, anything. Anything that would be perfect to play on Valentine's Day.
Oh, gosh. I don't like dig into a whole lot of that category.
I usually don't either, no.
I don't know. What would you say?
So, I just thought of La La Land.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Okay, I have.
But, I enjoyed that. It was different, but it wasn't terrible. But I was thinking rom-com, I also do not watch rom-coms. But a movie that I wouldn't mind seeing is 50 First Dates with Adam Sandler.
Yes, okay, I have seen that one. That is a good one.
So
I may have to steal that.
It's an Adam Sandler movie.
I love
gotta
Adam
be good.
Sandler.
So,
Adam Sandler's awesome.
Who does not love Adam Sandler? I mean, seriously. But yeah, that's one that I wouldn't mind seeing. So, but yes, again, in the spirit of Valentine's Day, what are your plans? Any big plans?
No, I don't think so. I went and dropped some dough at Walmart today, getting some presents for the girlfriend.
I thought you meant actual dough.
No. Some money, but not a whole lot of plans. I'm honestly, we're about to get into it. But I'm really focused on our weekend trip. That's gonna take up a lot of time, and
we'll get into that.
So yeah, I'd say that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. So for my girlfriend and I, our anniversary was on the 7th, and of course 7 days later it's Valentine's Day. So most of the time we end up combining it. And since we're both here at Ouachita, it's kind of hard to celebrate, especially there's not like a
Burger Barn?
Yeah. No, there's not a really nice place to go out to eat. Like our anniversary dinner last week was Los Agaves in Caddo Valley.
Okay.
It's good food, but not like... There's not really fine dining.
Yeah. You got to go to Hot Springs for that.
You really do, but
Texas Roadhouse.
But not last weekend, but the weekend before that, we went to a nice place in Little Rock.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm working on presents, but like I said, we combine the tradition.
That's nice. I feel you because my girlfriend's birthday was on the 6th.
So, okay.
So, yeah, both of our pockets must be taking a bit of a hit.
Well, my mom's birthday was on the 9th, and, Valentine's Day, so my dad's been putting in the work as well. So, yeah.
February's a busy month.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then you had Christmas just a couple months ago. So
can't forget about
not
Christmas.
even a whole 2 months ago. But anyway, yeah, so it's a busy day for us guys, or busy month, time of year, whatever, and yeah, and it was weird. We had to outrun. Okay, so Friday was my mom's dinner, and we went to. And I know you probably have no idea where Lone Oak is.
Mm-mm.
It's west of North Little Rock, and there's a really nice place called the Grumpy Rabbit that she really wanted to try. It's really good food. If for whatever reason you find yourself in Lone Oak, Arkansas, go to the Grumpy Rabbit. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got pastas. It's got burgers. It's got fish. It's got my girlfriend had Gouda mac and cheese, and it's got a lot of stuff. But yeah, anyway, we had to outrun a tornado for the most part. Never touched down, of course, but yeah.
A little action?
Yeah, a little action. And, of course, Lone Oak is out in the middle of nowhere, so there wasn't really anywhere to stop. If we absolutely had to, we would have gotten off the side of the road and gone into a ditch because that is the best place to go if you're outside and, you can't find a building that won't fly away. So,
yeah.
Anyway, well, let's get into some OBU sports. Why don't we? Well, not only did we have busy weekends, but so did pretty much everybody else in athletics. So starting off is OBU women's tennis. So they played back-to-back-to-back days, and they went 2-1 in their first spring weekend. So they first played Dallas Baptist. They lost 3-4. That was on Thursday. Then they beat Christian Brothers on Friday. Then they beat Arkansas Fort Smith on Saturday, and that one I'm pretty sure was a sweep of the Lions. So good opening spring weekend for women's tennis, and men's tennis started off hot too. So like to see that from them. And then on Thursday, women and men's basketball defeated Southwestern Oklahoma State at home. Both games were great. The women defeating the Bulldogs by 5, and that was huge for them because they broke a 5-game losing streak. And you know, I'm looking at the stats. The numbers don't jump out at you, but they've had some issues at times out rebounding teams, or being out rebounded. 58-33 was the rebound margin. Ouachita had 58 rebounds in this game. 25 of them were on the offensive side. But before I turn it over to you to go into the individual stats, they still had 25 turnovers. That's going to continue to be, a backbreaker for them every single game if they don't take care of the ball. And they also allowed 15 offensive rebounds. So basically, just under half of Southwestern's rebounds were on the second, were on the offensive end. So that's going to factor. I think, frankly, Ouachita's lucky they walked away with a 5-point win.
You're absolutely right. I do think that, like you said, first of all, it was great to get a win. It was great to break the 5-game losing streak by 5 points. It was awesome to see the girls come on top in a close game, because the last time I remember seeing a close game like this, it was against Henderson here when we fell just short. Yep. So it's really good to see them come out on top. But to point out, to your point, heck yeah, we out-rebounded them by a lot. But the 25 turnovers, you're not going to win against very competitive teams like that. I think even if we cut that number in half, this game isn't close.
Yep.
And these are the kind of games that Ouachita needs to be winning by 10 or 15 to really separate themselves and not make it close to where it comes down to the end. But to get in some individual stats, Grayson Fairless had a double-double, 15 points, 12 rebounds, shot 6 of 11. Samantha Watson had 14 points, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, shot 6 of 8. Lainey Mears, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. She was all over the court in this one. Madeline Tipton had 12 points, 7 rebounds, and she fouled out after 22 minutes, just getting after it a little bit. Audrey Winfrey had 8 points and 8 rebounds, pretty close to double-double, and shot 2 of 5 from 3. And probably, in my eyes, the most impressive stat line of the game was Joey Babel with 4 points, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, and 9 rebounds.
Shortest player on the court.
We talk about it week in and week out, the shortest player on the court. And Joey just, in my eyes, is the heart of this team. I mean, the glue that keeps everything together. I mean, just a fireball, whether she's coming in off the bench or starting in the game. I mean, you don't miss her when she's on the court. And to have the second most rebounds on a normal night, this might lead the team in rebounds. Grayson Fairless obviously had an amazing game on the glass, which is why she had 12. But 9 rebounds from your point guard, who is always the smallest girl in the court, is just unreal. So shout out to her, continuing to play hard, give her team everything she's got, and I'll let you get back into the men's basketball game.
Yeah, again, and she even played better the game later, but we'll cover that in a few minutes. So Ouachita men's basketball, like I said, they defeated the Bulldogs 77-66. So this one was not as close as the women's game was, but OBU shot and played a little bit better than the women did. They shot a little bit above 50% from the field, 38% from they shot 38% from the three-point line. Free throw numbers, 66%, not great, not where you want it, but they did shoot 42 points in the paint, had 12 points off turnovers, had 9 second chance points, and only had 7 turnovers.
Nice.
So that's going to be huge. Of course, they still allowed 45% from the field for the Bulldogs. They did only allow 26% from 3, still allowed 36 points in the paint and 10 second chance points. But again, the Ouachita outside shooting definitely helped them in this game. Emery Knox hit 3 threes for 17 points. Did a lot of his work at the free throw line. Reggie Martin had 6 points, 9 rebounds, only missing 3 shots. Terrence Williams had 14 points, 5 rebounds, also only missing 3 shots. Tyler Haynes, 10 points, 7 rebounds. I think first game for him back in the starting lineup for a while, or at least the most effective game he's had in the starting lineup for a bit. And then Rollin Belton had 8 points and 5 rebounds off the bench. So pretty solid outing for them. And they snapped a 3-game losing streak because they only ever win at home. They are still yet to win a road game, But for somehow they are still – it's still not impossible to get into the conference tournament.
That's what they're saving it for when they get in. That's when they're going to win on the road.
Maybe they're saving to play Henderson, which will be this Thursday. We'll preview that later. OBU Wrestling, they wrapped up their regular season. They went 2-0 in Springfield, Missouri, which they desperately needed some wins because they had a real long dry spell. They defeated Drury University 26-18. They had 6 event winners, and they defeated Newman University 29-15. They had 6 event winners as well. They will be in the NCAA Super Regional 4 tournament on March 2nd in Indianapolis, so some time to rest up. We'll see how they do there. OBU Women's Indoor Track and Field, they wrapped up their regular season as well at the Pitt State Gorilla Classic. Seems like as quickly as their season started, it ended. So,
yeah.
But that's how their seasons typically go. So, but not without a lot of success. So, I think I counted maybe 7 school records were broken in this meet alone. We'll go into them. So, the distance medley relay squad of Izzy Bro, Anna Woolsey, I always mess that name up, Woolsey, J.C. McGregor, and Macy Cash placed 5th with a NCAA Division II provisional time of 11:58.60, which is 19th in all of Division II and is a new school record, breaking a previous one by 22 seconds. And I will get into what provisional times mean in just a second. Anna Woolsey ran her 2nd provisional time of the season in the 400 meter with a school record of 56 seconds, 52. Belle Lindsay set a school record in the 60 meter hurdles with a time of 9.09, breaking her previous record of 9.41. Now, I do like whenever a player beats their own record, if it's swimming or in this case track and field, or sometimes individual season stats for other sports. That just means you're putting in the work and you're seeing it pay off. I think that's always great to see. Lainey White, she ran in a minute 28 seconds .41 in the 600 meter, which was her 4th, or got her 4th in the 600, and it was also a new school record. J.C. McGregor ran a 2:18.09 in the 800 meter. Guess what? That's a school record. Mm-hmm. Macy Cash ran a 10:09.40 in the 3,000 meter, placing 7th and beating the previous record she held by 7 seconds. I couldn't run the 3,000. That's a lot.
7 seconds is a lot too when you're talking about a track time.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
That's
yeah. And that's a great time, and placing 7th in that meet.
These girls were moving.
They were. There were a lot of great performers in that meet. And the 4x400 meter relay team of Anna Woolsey, Ashley Dillman, White, and J.C. McGregor set a school record as well. Now, like I said, the provisional time. So what that means is that any of the Tigers that set that ran a provisional time during the season, not just this event, but during the season, will have to wait for the NCAA's selection committee to make decisions on who makes nationals. I don't know when nationals are, but they typically, the top 16 or 20 times in the country make it. So chances are going to be slim because that's not a lot. And I don't know if that's by region or if that's just the 60 to 20 times overall. But I did mention how the A distance medley relay squad placed 19th in all of Division II in their provisional time. So maybe they have a chance. Would love to see at least just one runner or group of runners be able to represent the Tigers at nationals. Ouachita softball, they got their first win of the season versus Delta State. And interesting thing about softball, they didn't play at home. They didn't play at D. White Field. I think it's D. White Field at Henderson, right? And they didn't play at Delta State. They played at Feaster Park. And if you don't know anything about Arkadelphia, Feaster Park is just where they have like youth league baseball and softball. And it's just right smack dab in the middle of town. And interesting selection, or interesting place to play. I don't know if that had anything to do with the rain, because we continue.
Possibly. The softball field is really bad with drainage.
Well, they played not this last Saturday, but the Saturday before. I don't even remember. It was one of the Missouri teams, and it ended up being like 13-16, I think was the score. But from some people that were there at the game, it rained for 3.5 hours, and there was a massive puddle right in front of the pitcher's mound. And I'm surprised they didn't call the game, because they called y'all's game on Saturday. But still. But anyway, first win of the season for Ouachita, 6-4. Aaron Williams had 2 hits, 2 runs, an RBI, and a walk. Bailey King had a walk and a run. Remington Adams had a run, a hit, an RBI, and a walk, and then Kennedy Wilkie had a run, a hit, and 3 RBIs. How important is now? They would lose their second game that same day to Delta State 2-3, but regardless, how with a young team with a new coaching staff setting a new culture, how important is just that first win to a program like
it's
that?
Huge. It's huge. And, I want to point out, obviously they got their first win, and even the second game they lost in a heartbreaker, but it's a 1-run game.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing, just in a week's different, they're playing a lot better ball than they were the week before.
Yeah, they were.
And, I mean, this team's the chemistry is only going to get tighter between this group, and, I mean, just looking at it, it's very encouraging to see. I'm sure they feel great about it. Obviously, they're ready to get some more wins in the column. But it was so important for them to have a good weekend. And, I think you take away from the 2 games that they had against Delta State, and you come back and, you're pleased with how it went.
Well, sometimes all you need is that one win to change the tide. Now, we won't go over this too much, but baseball, you guys didn't have the best weekend at Missouri Southern State, losing 1-15 on Friday, and then 0-6 and 1-5 on Saturday. We were talking about it before we got started. It was just, they kind of got out early, and
I'll keep it short. We, on the inside, we're already ready to flush it. We're looking forward to conference play. We just didn't show up to play. There's no pointing blame at one phase of the game. We're a team, and if pitching's not there, hitting's there to pick us up. If hitting's not there, pitching's there to pick us up. And there were different struggles in different games. It just didn't look like we didn't look like ourselves, which is very rare. I'm glad something like this happens now at the beginning of the season rather than in the middle of the season when you're getting into crunch time. I don't expect anything like this to happen the rest of the season, and I know we're really looking forward to turning the script around this weekend.
Yeah, and sometimes those early season losses are important. I mean, what we saw with I'm bringing back to Ouachita football, I haven't talked about them in a while, but they had the early season loss to Harding. Of course, everybody lost to Harding. Literally everybody they played because they won the championship. But they learned from that, got better, and then they had that Henderson loss at the very end of the season, and that kept them out of the conference or the
postseason.
Yes, the postseason. And if they maybe had played Henderson earlier in the year, had those 2 losses earlier, maybe they would still be in it. And, it's just you don't know. But yeah. Anyway, now like I said, Ouachita basketball would play again on Saturday, and that was against Northwestern Oklahoma State. The women would win 87-80, so they're on a 2-game winning streak right now. And Weston, they shot pretty well from the field. I don't see anything wrong really at all with their performance.
Yeah, I mean, 2 wins, obviously, but just looking at the splits here, the percentages are a lot better in this game than they were in the first one. I mean, shooting 35% from 3, that's huge. 23 points off of turnovers, 15 fast break points, 9 second chance points. Not as many as in that first game, but then again, they were making a lot more shots on the first try. And once again, we won the rebound battle by almost 20 rebounds, 40-21. And we forced 21 turnovers. So we kind of flipped the script of what teams like to do to us, and we did to them. And looking at these individual stats, goodness gracious, were you right. Lainey Mears had a heck of an offensive performance. 22 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 4 of 10 from 3, 40%. That'll definitely get the job done. Madeline Tipton, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 3 of 8 from 3. Grayson Fairless had a great game, 10 points, 5 rebounds, shot 4 of 6 from the field. And Audrey Winfrey, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal. And you weren't lying when you said Joey had a better game in this one than she did in the first one. 16 points, which I believe is a season high. And if
I
not,
think that's a career high. I'm pretty sure,
I was just about to say. 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals. I mean, she is earning every minute that she gets and is proving that she should get towards the top of the minutes in the rotation on this team. And
I think she even started this game too.
Good. And I mean, after a performance like she had in that first game, I'm not surprised. That is a heck of a game, not just by Joey, but by all the girls. And to win 2 close games in a row by less than 10 points has got to get them feeling good towards the end of this season.
Yep, and they're turning the tide at the right time. They really are. Only a few games left in the season. Huge. I think as far as the GAC standings stand right now, they are right in the middle of the pack, which is okay as long as you make the tournament. We're at the point where it's like just get into the tournament and you'll be all right. But I know you're going to look up those standings, but while you do that, I'll get into men's basketball. Now, they were so close to pulling off the victory at home against the Rangers, where they lost 78-82 in overtime. Now, Ouachita did not shoot particularly well from the field, shot 41% from the field, 22% from 3, 73% from the free throw line. Not bad, but average. 24 points off turnovers, 36 points in the paint, 17 second chance points, certainly a lot better, as well as 12 fast break points, and they out-rebounded the Rangers. And typically with those numbers, with setting aside the shooting numbers, because you can still win a lot of games with poor shooting if you get your points off turnovers. 24 points off turnovers, that's ridiculous. And you out-rebounded them by 12. Typically you think, Ouachita's going to get the win. Well, not when you allow 50% from the field, 44% from 3, 22 points in the paint, 21 points off turnovers, 12 fast break points, and 11 second chance points. So really the numbers were kind of even overall. But one guy got a shout out, had, I think, a career high in every single category, was Gavin Snyder, the one freshman on Ouachita's roster from Central High School in Little Rock. He had 19.7 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 of 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, all off the bench. And he had to come in because Emery Knox had fouled out, so he played big. I had taken a quick look at some of the highlights, trying to catch the end of the game. I wasn't there on Saturday, and I noticed him at the end of the game, and I was like, he never plays at the end of the game. He's only a first half guy that comes in to get some of our guards a breather. And I was like, well, he must be having a good game or something. And little did I know how good of a game he was having. Tyler Haynes also had a pretty solid game, 13 points, 13 rebounds. Roland Belton had 11 points, 5 rebounds, shot 50% from the floor. And Taryn Williams had an all-around solid game, 7 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Now, See, you got the GAC standings up. So looking at the women's, what do you see?
I do, yeah. I'm looking at the women's right now. We are sitting right in the middle of the pack, like you said. I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th, it looks like, in the conference right now, which would get us into the tournament, I believe.
Yep, top 8 spots.
And I didn't realize that Northwestern was in 3rd. So that was...
and I'm pretty sure they were number 16th in the country.
That's a huge win for us. Like you said, the momentum is turning.
Well, that Southwestern game, they're sitting at number 5. That was a big win.
Yeah, I mean, two gritty wins, and I mean, like you said, you get in, anything can happen, and we just showed we just beat 2 of the top 5 teams in the conference. So,
and I do notice Southern Nazarene is no longer undefeated. I obviously did not keep up. They lost their first and maybe only game of the season.
They lost by 20 to Harding.
Okay, but Harding is pretty good, but they're probably saying, hey, is this your number 1 team? No, you give it to us. And Harding's only got 2 losses on the year, but see what they got for the men's standings. All right, yep, looking at the men's standings, so Southeastern Oklahoma State remains on top. Ouachita's still at the bottom of the conference, but as you look at it, yeah, we're 5-11 in the conference, but
2 games away from being 6th.
I don't know if this says something, if this conference is just unbelievably even, or if you just have your top teams and then everybody else is kind of mediocre. I have no idea, but I mean, every night you never know what the outcome's going to be, because we almost pulled up what really would have been an upset against the Rangers. They're sitting at number 3 in the conference, and then beating the number 5 team in the conference at in Southwestern Oklahoma State. And I think Harding, they're number 4 in the conference. I think they were a lot farther down, and I think they had a couple wins. And so
6 games left to go in conference play. You win 3 or 4 of those things, you're right in there with some help, obviously.
Right.
But I mean, definitely some winnable games. We got to go to Southeastern.
Yeah, and to Ada, to Monticello as well. So only 2 home games in that stretch, which is not, based off our record on the road.
Well, it's time to flip the script.
It is time. And Coach Nutt is a veteran coach, and I think that we have so much talent. Emory Knox even talked about it. He said they were all just kind of surprised they were losing, and they're winning at home, and we have a home game on Saturday against Arkansas Tech, so we'll definitely need that one. So let's take a look at the Tiger Prow preview. So Ouachita basketball, like I said, they will be playing in the Battle of the Ravine this Thursday at 5:30 and 7:30. And no, that will not be here at home. That will be at Henderson State. Of course, it's just, now I don't think they walk for basketball. I think football is the only sport that does the walking, because that is just, tradition. But basketball, they probably drive 2-3 minutes.
If that.
5 minutes if they get caught at a light. Lights in Arkadelphia don't last that long anyway. Yeah. But we should have a radio broadcast live from Henderson State. Check that out. Not sure where, but maybe by the time this episode's released, I'll have a clear answer and I'll pop that up below. Or follow me on my Twitter page and I'll have some real-time updates. But Ouachita softball, they will be playing in the Raising Cane's Softball Festival in Edmond, Oklahoma. Now, track and field played at the Wendy's Invitational. I don't think that was Wendy's fast food restaurant, but this is Raising Cane's. I gotta say, if you win the game, you have to get Raising Cane's. Maybe win or lose, you get a box of. I haven't been to Raising Cane's in a while. What? Caniac combo. That's what I would always get. Yep, a box of the Caniac combo, and
man, Cane's is good.
Man, if only they had one down here. I think the closest one, I don't know if they have them in Benton or Bryant, but I know the closest is Little Rock, yeah.
Well, they tore down the KFC. They need to put something like that right there.
Well, they were supposed to move the KFC next to AutoZone there on Pine.
Yeah.
But be honest, here in Arkadelphia, we hear rumors we were supposed to get a Popeyes. We were supposed to get a Whataburger.
That's what I was thinking, a Raising Cane's, a Chipotle, a Whataburger, something like
Brahms had bought the property where Western Sizzlin was.
Okay.
Western Sizzling's still there. Of course, they've been vacant at least since I've been here, so at least 4 years. But Brahms was supposed to be there. But something weird with Brahms that I had heard was they can only place restaurants in various proximity of like their headquarters.
Weird.
It is really strange. Like it has to be a certain distance. It makes no sense, but
above our pay grade.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, we don't get paid, so
Yeah,
yes,
good
obviously.
point. Good point.
But anyway, but softball, Raising Cane's softball festival at Deer Creek High School. They'll be playing Washburn 10:30 a.m. and then Nebraska Kearney 1 p.m. on Friday. Then they would play Rogers State on Saturday at 10:30 at Piedmont High School in Piedmont, Oklahoma. Still part of the same festival. Then they'll play Missouri Southern State on Saturday at 3:30 at Piedmont High School. Hopefully they get revenge for y'all. And then you guys, and I want you to talk about this, you guys will have your first conference game of the season from Friday to Saturday against the Rangers of Northwestern Oklahoma State in Alva, Oklahoma. How are y'all feeling?
We're feeling great. We're going up to Alva, Oklahoma, where it's going to be cold and windy, but we think of ourselves as a gritty and resilient team, so we're not even really thinking about the weather. The Rangers, as of right now, if I believe I'm correct, are 7-1 so far to start the season. Have only played at home, and are looking to make a push to the top of the conference this year. And so obviously our goal is to go up there and show them that we're the top of the conference, and for a reason. So I think we're all just excited to hit the reset button, get back to our way of playing baseball, and go up there and start the conference out right. Our mentality is go 1-0 every game, and we're going to get back to that this weekend.
Well, you guys, for the most part, with the exception of this last weekend, y'all have played great.
Yeah.
Y'all 4-0 heading into this last weekend. Now, 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like you said, 1-0 every game. That's a great mindset. Ouachita men's tennis, they've also had a successful season. I think they're still undefeated so far. They will host Midwestern State on Saturday at 9 a.m. And then women's tennis will travel to Tyler, Texas to play UT Tyler Saturday at 10 a.m. Ouachita basketball, like I mentioned, will host Arkansas Tech this Saturday at 1 p.m. for the women's and 3 p.m. for the men's. Ouachita women's tennis will play Texas A&M Kingsville at Collin College in Plano, Texas on Sunday at 10 a.m. And the men's tennis also play at home on Sunday against Mississippi College, 1 p.m. on Sunday. So a lot going on this week. A lot going on.
Busy time of year.
It is a busy week. But speaking of, now that it's February 12th is when we're filming, but maybe February 14th by the time you guys are viewing. But as of February 11th, football in professional sports, with the exception of like your UFL, XFL, stuff like that, is over.
Heartbreak.
It's over with a Chiefs victory on Sunday. And I imagine this is not the first time you've heard that the Chiefs have won the Super Bowl. But yeah, it's going to be the third Super Bowl win for the Chiefs in the last 5 years.
Yep.
That's a dynasty.
First team to win back-to-back in 20 years since Brady did it.
Yeah. I was surprised. I thought he had done it more recently, but it was always
it was the 2010, 2011, I think.
Yeah.
I think is what it was.
Yeah.
But, yeah, what a game. Great game.
That was a great game. And I am okay. One thing that I'm always so disappointed with is that, and I understand why they don't do this, broadcasts never show the streakers. There was a streaker on the field, at least one, and you only know because they mentioned it.
Yeah.
But they only show the players and coaches and whatnot just on the field.
Yeah.
So.
My logic is probably I bet pregame they get instructed not to because in live time you don't know whether that is going to be a male that's just shirtless or somebody that's completely
that is true.
nude. You know what I mean? So you don't know what obviously there's probably no harm, no foul, and a guy without a shirt on, but there's no way in live time when you're putting a camera on it to know exactly what's going on.
That's true. I mean,
there was a few of them. I did see a post on Twitter of multiple of them, and they were all from the same group because they all had similar stuff painted on their chest.
Course.
So if they want to pay, $10,000 for a Super Bowl ticket to get kicked out, halfway through the game, that's on them.
Hey, making memories.
Yep, something like that if they remember it.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, and part of why they don't show it is because they don't want to condone future behavior like that.
Absolutely.
But again, like you said, they don't know in the moment if it's going to be inappropriate, because when they say streaker, by definition, it's someone that I think is like completely naked.
That's what I think of too.
But most of the time, they have at least pants on, which is good. It's usually like we've seen animal rights activists at, I think it was last year or the year before, at a Timberwolves game in the NBA. There was one that jumped out from the crowd that was going to chain herself to the floor. I know somebody got chained to a basket, and it took them forever to get them unchained, and it stops the game. It's a safety hazard, and and I guess
I'm all for people making their points, but
at a Minnesota Timberwolves game or whatever it was, I think it was because the owner of the organization had some. The animal rights activists didn't like what he was doing or something. But
there was one time I played football in high school. We had a streaker at one of our high school games.
I imagine it's not an animal rights activist.
Yeah, just a guy in his underwear that ran across the field and had security chasing him, and he hopped the fence and had a little like miniature motorcycle waiting for him on the other side of the fence and took off.
Wow.
Kind of professionally done. Got to give it to the guy. But, yeah.
Well,
memories.
you can really only do that at high school games because, most high school stadiums, well, okay, I say most, none of the high school stadiums in Texas, they're all massive college pro-size stadiums. But, no, there's typically a way to get out, maybe a gate that's been left unlocked, or you can climb over a fence. You can't do that in the NFL. Nope. Certainly not at the Super Bowl with the amount of security. And there's only tunnels to go through, and the security in those tunnels. Yeah, so it's just crazy. But I've never seen that at a game. I don't think. I mean, I've always kind of wanted to see that. I think it's funny, but yeah.
You can kind of tell in this picture that security guy's smiling. He just thinks it's funny as can be. But yeah, you see
he's smiling.
They all have this thing. I don't know what it is. I can't zoom in. I wish I could, but they all have something painted on their chest. I don't know what.
And then there's that guy. That's a lovely outfit. I'll have to pull up these photos for you guys, but that's an outfit right there.
Yeah. These guys.
I don't know. Yeah, he's smiling. What is he saying? Okay, it's probably his Instagram handle. And then on his chest, and then on his front.
Set and forget.
I have no idea what that means, but most of the people don't. But hey, I mean they're not there for you to know immediately. They're there so you can look them up.
Oh, for
that's
sure.
That's why he put his handle.
He probably just made a buck off of me.
Well, no, you didn't access anything.
That's true.
So he didn't make a dime off of you. So, but yeah, so. Hopefully everybody is going to have a good Valentine's Day. I know it's not a great holiday for everyone, but regardless of where you are in life, I hope you are going to have a very truly blessed Valentine's Day. It is still a good time of year, even though at least here it is cold, windy, and wet. So that
I'm ready for some warm I'm ready for some warm weather.
Which I don't understand why. Sometimes weather in the South is so infuriating because it can't decide if it's going to be cold. Like if you want to be cold for weeks. Just go ahead and make that decision.
For example, for those listening, it was 40 degrees, wet, cold, rainy, and windy today. Tomorrow it's going to be 60 and sunny.
Yeah, the sun didn't come out today until like 5 o'clock, and I was like, really? You couldn't have come out
earlier? It's going to be out for half an hour?
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty, it was pink clouds and stuff, but it was like, well, would have been nice if I could have seen that at 2 when I was walking when I was walking out of my dorm, and I'm shivering because of how windy it is. But yeah, well, and you guys got to practice in that stuff. You guys got to play in that. So
when we go up to Alva this weekend, There's supposed to be wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour.
Bless your heart.
With
Jeez.
45 degrees, so.
45 degrees, man.
We'll make do.
Yeah, I don't mind the state of Oklahoma. Now, I'm not gonna offend anybody in Oklahoma. I'm gonna offend maybe weather enthusiasts or anything, or pro Oklahoma weather enthusiasts. But Oklahoma and Kansas, they have the worst landscape when it comes to just they're flat. They're flat. There's hardly any hills or mountains, so it's just windy the whole time. It is just straight windy. So, yeah, I can't imagine. Anyway. Happy Valentine's Day. Have a great day. Have a good evening. Stay safe out there. And go Tigers.